The Denver Broncos are clearly in rebuild mode, right? They cut Russell Wilson. They cut an all-pro safety, Justin Simmons, coming off an all-pro year. Again, a little bias here, but Justin Simmons is one of my favorite players. I know how I feel about safety. Cut a former first-round pick or traded a former first-round pick in wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. So you have to wonder who else could be on the block. And that leads me to an interesting target here, Cowboys Nation. In Courtland Sutton. The Broncos are in a fire sale. There's no doubt about it. These guys are trying to get rid of as many players as they can to recoup whatever they can from a trade department and in cap space. Last year, Sutton balled out. 59 receptions, 772 yards, 10 tutties. He's got 2 years left on his deal. And if Denver does trade him, they get a $9.7 million cap relief. If not, they can designate him June 1st and get $13.5 million. But I wonder if they say, well, if we can at least get a 5th, 6th round pick again, plus the cap relief, that will more than equate to $13.5 million that we can't use till after June 1st anyway. So the question is, can he make sense here in Dallas? If you're looking to upgrade at the X wide receiver spot after moving on from Gallup, which you're going to move on from Gallup, but you don't want to deal with the learning curve of a rookie, why not Courtland Sutton? What is the one thing the Cowboys have been looking for? Well, fans have been talking about in regards to the wide receiver position. We need size. Well, you don't get more size than 6'4", 216 pounds, fits the mold of Mike McCarthy, physical. I mean, catch radius is stupid. We've seen him make ridiculous catches this past season and in his career. He did one against the Cowboys. Red zone threat, when you throw his way, he had 124 quarterback rating when targeted. That was 6th in the NFL. So he was top 10 when you threw his way. Coming into the season, one of his better routes was the in-breaking route. He was one of the best in-breaking routes in the NFL. Cowboys run a lot of this West Coast where you get some slants on in-breaking routes. Big body. I tell you what, one of the things, Foots, we talk about on here is that whip route that, in the interception in the playoffs that Cooks ran. It wouldn't have been a whip route with Sutton. That'd have been a slant, big body slant. He's really everything you hoped and wanted from Michael Gallup over the last 3 seasons, but you just couldn't do it. A big-time contested catch guy last year caught 57% of his contested catches. That was top 10. Michael Gallup was 35%, and it continued to decrease. So what about the contracts, guy? All right, because I know a lot of people are a little wary of the money that it may cost. So he does have a pretty sizable cap hit for Denver right now, hence why I think he could be on the block, roughly around $17 million. But I do wonder, could you massage the trade, and this is not just for the Cowboys, anybody, in the same way the Cowboys did for Brandon Cooks? Remember when Brandon Cooks, they traded for him and Robert Quinn, and they said, hey, you guys take a little bit of the cap money. You guys take $4 million off of it. So if you take the $4 million off of it, or whatever it may be, even if you don't take anything off of it, you could still look at this thing as a 1-year rental. Yeah. Because if you look at it as a 1-year rental, you've got an easy out in 2025. No matter what happens, if they don't even touch his contract, the team, whoever acquires him, can cut him pre-June 1st and get $13.5 or so million, or $14 million on their cap. So the question now becomes, given the information, would you trade for Courtland Sutton? Interested here to know your guys' thoughts, because this is a position the Cowboys have always been interested in bringing in. All right. We talked about the Joey Galloway. We talked about Keyshawn is another one, but we talked about Mari Cooper, Roy Williams. They traded up for Dez Bryant, Brandon Cooks. I look into it. Because if Jerry Jeudy went for 5-6, I think Courtland Sutton can go for around that same price range. Maybe not both picks. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe you go a 5 this year, a 6 next year, a 6 this year, a 5 next. I don't think it take much. But here's why I would absolutely look into it. When you go look at the wide receivers, we talk about the size, right? CeeDee Lamb is your biggest wide receiver at 6'2". But oppo of CeeDee Lamb, do you really have a true X wide receiver you are confident in depending on down in, down out for 2024? I'm a Tober fan. I love the way he played last year and continued to grow. But if I have the ability to upgrade, Tober ain't stopping me. No, sir. I can be as big of a fan as I want of Jalen Tober's second year. It's not going to make me be be blind to what is in regards to Courtland Sutton. He's an upgrade, and honestly, probably a massive one, quite literally. He's an upgrade. Scott, what about the 7th-round pick, Jalen Brooks? Jalen Brooks ain't stopping me from upgrading at the wide receiver position. So, like, one thing we do here with the Cowboys a lot, and I'm guilty of it too with certain players, is we hold on to our guys. We're so emotionally invested. No, Jalen Brooks is coming. I'm telling you, he's the guy. Jalen Brooks is not stopping me from upgrading. Jalen Tober's not stopping me from upgrading. Brandon Cooks is 5'10", and I can't find Turpin on the field if he's motioning behind the offensive lineman. So you want size. I give you Courtland Sutton.